hey, I have an idea for the DCEU. Let's make every movie Guardians of the Galaxy.
Action!
Welcome back to Coming This Summer.
Yeah, that was my impression of James Gunn. I don't know if anybody could tell. Honestly, from that thing we watched, I don't think I've ever heard
we got a lot to unpack here.
What James Gunn sounds like before.
Oh, my God.
Before. So, about 20 minutes ago, DC, the YouTube channel, dropped Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters.
Yes.
We officially have Phase 1 of the DCU. We have our whole list here. Maybe, should I run down the list and then we go talk about them individually, or...
However you
Let's
want
do that.
to do
Okay,
it.
so for
Okay.
Gods and Monsters, Chapter 1 of the DCU, we have Shazam, Fury of the Gods. We have followed by Flash, followed by Blue Beetle, followed by Aquaman 2. Then we have Creature Commandos, The Amanda Waller Show, Superman Legacy, Lanterns,
It's like the Amanda Show.
The
from
Authority,
Nickelodeon.
Paradise Lost, Brave and the Bold, Booster Gold, Supergirl, and Swamp Thing. So that's our list currently. He has more that he can't tell us, allegedly.
Okay. Oof,
So let's
I got a
break
lot
off.
to
Let's break
unpack
off with
here.
these first four that were in development before James Gunn took over, which is Shazam, Flash, Aquaman, and Blue Beetle. Right?
Yeah, you guys have to watch this 5-minute video he put out.
kicking off the DCU with movies that, one, have nothing to do with Gods and Monsters except Shazam, and two, movies that have absolutely nothing to do with each other at all. Where's the team up? Where's the Justice League? Hey guys, Marvel didn't do 10 movies and forget to do Avengers. You know what I mean? It's like, no, they set them all up and then they did Avengers. You know what I mean? It's like this one doesn't have a Justice League, or even like a Justice League Dark, or like a Suicide Squad. What are you building to? Who cares?
Honestly, I'm taken back by how bad the video was, because I've never seen someone...
James Gunn has like taken his ego.
Wow,
since
almost every project he mentions here is
he's writing
one of my one of my favorites.
One
and
of his
I
favorites,
will be writing it, or I'm
Creature
writing
Commandos, Superman Legacy, allegedly Lanterns, probably Authority, Paradise Lost, and Brave and the Bold. He's allegedly I would see him working on Booster Gold and Supergirl. And that's like 8 out of the 12 that he announced he's probably writing. Yeah. Wow, dude. And he's only using characters that he likes.
Yeah.
So
as a kid, this was
we
my
have Batman
favorite.
Brave and the Bold coming out, which is the introduction to DCU's Batman, not Robert Pattinson's Batman in the Matt Reeves movies. This is a different Batman.
Which he said the rest is called what now?
What? Oh, Elseworlds. So like every
It's like
other
how Marvel
movie,
has the multiverse.
So like Snyderverse stuff and like all their DCAU animated universe, that's all Elseworlds now. So none of that's canon except they're doing a sequel to Aquaman 2.
Well, hold on now.
Or Aquaman.
Here's the weird thing. That's why I'm telling everybody to go watch this video, because he made it sound like...
He starts off by saying the Elseworlds thing. Like, everything that happened will happen over there. You know?
Yeah. But see, then he goes, Shazam will lead into...
Flash.
Which
will lead into Blue Beetle.
Which will reset everything leading into Blue Beetle and Aquaman.
But then you have Aquaman 2.
And then he says... And then we start the DCU.
And then we can finally begin with Creature Commandos. Which is this obscure DC team that he wants to
start
bring
it
to light,
all with.
like Guardians of the Galaxy. Yep. We all know what he's doing.
Very kind of low-key said, don't even bother watching the next 4 movies because they won't matter.
They won't matter, except Blue Beetle.
I think he will bring...
Yeah,
the actor and but I think most of like Shazam was just going to be on fire. They're just going to light that on fire with Aquaman.
Calling the chapter Gods and Monsters and starting with Shazam would make sense if you weren't firing and burning all the Black Adam and Shazam universe stuff to the ground.
Right, and I know they haven't given an official word on that, but with Zachary Levi's tweets and.
Well, you fact Black Adam's done.
Black Adam's done.
That part,
the trailer, the trailers are the most uninspiring, cut together.
Black Adam into Shazam, that makes sense. Okay, into Flash, we reset. Now we introduce like the Spider-Man of the DC, which is like Blue Beetle, kinda, right? And now we do Aquaman, which is like continuing. It's like, wait a minute. It's like you're going to reset everything, but you still have a sequel to Aquaman made that you have to put out with Jason Momoa and maybe
why didn't
Ben
they just
Affleck.
Cut these movies?
Just
like
cut
when
those.
Warner Brothers was blowing everything up
just
at
cut
the
those
beginning
movies.
when Discovery took over.
Or just put them out on HBO Max. Yeah. My God. So, and then also we have the Amanda Waller Show starring Viola Davis, who will be Viola Davis in from 2016's Suicide Squad and Black Adam and new Suicide Squad, and I believe she was in Justice League and all the Snyderverse movies. Viola Davis was in as Amanda Waller, who's like the head of Task Force X. Or like Argus or whatever
DC
the
for
organization
years has been saying like we're going to do an interconnected thing and then we're going to have movies outside,
which is fine.
But it sounds like they haven't changed anything.
They haven't changed anything.
You just got a guy with a gigantic ego that wants to do. That would be like they pick me or you, and you literally get to pick just your favorite comic book runs and your favorite heroes, and the whole MCU turns into these like weird characters that no one knows about.
Ricochet, yeah.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, man. So he comes out and says that the actors will be playing these characters across the board.
A to Z.
From video games, they will look like them in comic books now. They will be voiced by them in movies, TV shows, and animated shows. But across the board.
But at the same time, you got all the other old stuff that's still coming out. You're still finishing old stuff that is
still finishing old
going to be relevant for
like
5 more
Aquaman
years
2.
Because it's not.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yep, except for the full reboots, like we have Superman Legacy, which is written by James Gunn, being written by James Gunn currently, and has a release date of summer 2025.
The Creature Commandos and Superman
are confirmed.
James Gunn's like, I'm writing these my favorite things in the world doing this. So
we can assume that Lanterns, Brave and the Bold, the way he talked about.
One of the other ones he definitely said he was writing too.
Batman he's also doing, because he's like, Damian Wayne's my favorite Robin.
Yeah,
so that's the one who's going to be the DCU's Robin.
And I get it, passion, right? You want to find someone that loves your thing or whatever.
Feige wasn't like, I really like Captain America, guys, so like we're going to push him.
He's a huge X-Men guy because that's where he started, but he didn't like...
He hasn't Wolverine's... Robert Downey Jr. is Wolverine. And
he didn't immediately. Like 3 years ago, they got the rights to Fox. It wasn't like X-Men next movie. We're doing this because they're my favorite. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I'm out. I don't care anymore. The DCU, it kept getting worse and worse and worse.
I'll watch some of these projects that I think, like Lanterns, will probably be pretty good because it's like an animated Green Lantern thing. So like that'll probably be decent. Followed by we have The Authority, which is a group of superheroes who think it's their right to do justice.
A ragtag group of Guardians.
But with like superpowers though. And
yeah,
like
but
on
he's
Earth.
like like 8 versions of Guardians of the Galaxy that we're getting.
Yeah. Creature Commandos is Guardians. Lanterns is
I
Guardians.
love the first Guardians, by the way.
The Authority is Guardians. Booster Gold is straight up Guardians. Supergirl will be Guardians. Yeah, all this stuff.
The second half of Guardians 2 is amazing. The first half is not.
It's dog shit.
But the second half is amazing. Like, I tear up whenever, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But you can't build an entire universe off the same 6 characters, can you? I don't think you can.
No, and the thing is, like, I say, like, oh, what do these have to do with each other? Like, Flash with Blue Beetle, you know? But it's like, well, Marvel started with like, well, we're gonna focus on like the Earthbound like guys, right? We're not gonna go like super cosmic until we get like
B-list and C-list, not F-list.
No,
you can say, oh, Iron Man was barely. Iron Man had a cartoon show when I was a kid.
Iron Man had a cartoon show.
He wasn't that unknown.
Yeah, he got another one too when I was a kid. It was like 3D animated or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, or was it Spider-Man? No. But it wasn't.
No.
I'm sorry. What? Give me. It wasn't Creature Commander.
Creature Commandos.
It wasn't.
What about the
Booster
Authority?
Gold or the Authority? You know?
Yeah. To even kick off the only cosmic thing they did, it was Thor, and that wasn't like space.
Everyone knows Thor.
But everyone knows Thor.
God too.
That's a god.
It's like,
that's a Norse mythological god. Yeah. Thor is a very popular character. Yeah. Shazam, Flash, Blue Beetle, Aquaman, those are C-listers.
Can I ask you a question, too?
Those are C-list. Flash, Barry Allen Flash isn't even the one people like. Wally West is the one people like because he's in all the cartoons. It's like, well, you're doing it wrong.
Not to mention...
CW did it! The CW did it!
If the Flash is the reset point, but he wants to use...
But Aquaman 2 comes out.
That's what I'm trying to say. But he wants to use the Blue Beetle... Then wouldn't you like schedule Aquaman before?
Yeah.
Flash?
Right.
Maybe you keep Blue Beetle after because that can be the start of your stuff. Because that comes out before Commando.
None of these after have anything to do with the Snyderverse except for Amanda Waller and Aquaman 2. And you could have put those before the Flash.
You do the Flashpoint movie.
Yeah.
Everything gets bright like you said, and you watch like Black Adam dying and Henry Cavill from the back, Superman dying, and everything getting wiped out, and now you start with Blue Beetle.
God
and now everything's new. But no, we're gonna.
God damn
I
it.
don't understand.
None of these shows have anything to do with each other.
Nothing.
Like they're not even on the same scale. It's not like we're doing like Cosmic this phase and like Gods and Monsters has nothing to do with any of these characters except Shazam,
Except the ones they're getting rid of.
Aquaman maybe, and
Black
the Themyscira
Adam.
show.
Black Adam would have had something to do with
Black
it.
Adam would have had all the things to do with it.
Superman probably would have had.
Superman would have had to do with it.
But
Superman has New Gods, which is like Darkseid and shit. So it's like Gods and Monsters. And there's no Constantine in here? What the fuck, man? You're doing Swamp Thing and Booster Gold before you even touch...
Where is my goddamn Constantine
Before you touch
movie?
Constantine? What? I'm speechless, man.
I thought they announced the Keanu Reeves sequel Constantine movie.
It's not on here.
Where the hell?
It's not here.
Is it going to be in the Elseworlds then?
Maybe. Yeah.
I hate everything. I hate
Yeah.
We're done. I'm done. I
So
hate DC.
so we got a couple more. So we have Lanterns the Authority, then we have Paradise Lost, which is the Wonder Woman show without Wonder Woman, and it's about Paradise Island
Hey,
or
that Velma thing we
Themyscira.
did?
Yeah. And James Gunn used the words, it's like Westeros, Game of Thrones.
We're basically going to be doing Game of
It's
Thrones.
Game of Thrones,
but
guys.
from comic
It's
book.
that good is basically what and I'm writing it. And I'm also writing it is what he said. So Brave and the Bold is the introduction to the DCU's Batman, not Robert Pattinson, Matt Reeves' Batman. This will be a different one that we don't know if it's Ben Affleck
by
or
the
not
time
either.
this is out, which would make more sense, which all those rumors because he has a kid.
Because he has a kid. Not rumors that James Gunn wants to go younger with the DCU, yet Batman is now going to have a child.
So it's either going to be Michael Keaton or Ben Affleck then, because they're going to have an older person.
Michael Keaton, okay. See, but then they should have done.
But that's what I'm saying.
But they should have done like a Batman Beyond. Like get him super old Michael Keaton Batman, and then you have like Terry McGinnis fucking take over, and he's like that red fucking badass, bat suit, and it's different from what you've been doing.
Maybe that's why you don't get a fan of the comics to run your stuff. You get
maybe that's why you don't get a fan.
Storytellers, because you don't want someone
I
that
would
just
not
wants
trust
to use,
myself to run the DCU, to even pick the characters involved without being like biased. I'm like, well, I like Flash a lot, so like I like Shazam a lot personally, and I thought Shazam
You're like
was
The
gonna
Rock. You're like, I
become
like Black
fucking-
Adam,
Right.
so we're going to build this around me.
Yeah, okay. People shit on The Rock and what he's gonna do. That's pretty much the list. And we're not gonna talk about much more. It ends with like Supergirl, which is an adapted.
Which you actually was the
from
only thing
Tom
you
King's-
sounded nice
yes,
that you
because
liked.
The run that he's adapting is like probably regarded as one of the best Supergirl runs, and it happened last year, like most recent run, and he's like already adapting it into film because he has nothing else. Because DC sucks, DC sucks, but DC doesn't suck. If you watch the animated movies and
DC
the animated
was great
shows,
in the 90s.
they
When
did
I was
it.
a little kid.
They've done it 3 times. They did Smallville, where they literally had the entire Justice League as fucking high school teenagers in, basically, right? Successfully, by the way.
Yeah.
It lasted like 9
show?
seasons.
Oh my God, even longer, I think.
Right.
Yeah, it was on forever.
It went on. It carried a DC unit. Brainiac fucking shows up, I think, in Smallville. Like,
He's like friends with Lex Luthor and they're buddies in high school.
And like pushing Superman in the locker. I don't know. I never watched it.
That's basically what it was.
Like,
It was
"Climb the rope, pussy."
Dawson's Creek. Different DC.
Yeah. DC's Creek.
That's what DC stood for, right?
So you have Smallville, right? They did that. Fucking A, man. That was a cool, successful thing. Let's put that away for a little bit. Now CW gets their fucking hands on it. Let's do Arrow for like 2 seasons, and then Barry Allen fucking shows up in Arrow, and you're like, oh my God, they're doing it. And then they give you a Flash show starring that actor who showed up in fucking this other TV show.
See,
it was like Chicago Fire before Chicago Fire.
The problem was,
you know what
though,
I mean? Like,
they it's like they had the better writers and the connections and stuff going on in the TV side of
and
the
CW,
production,
yeah,
but with zero budget.
but with no budget.
And then they
because
had
it
all the
looked like dog
dumbasses
shit.
have $200 million and no direction.
Yeah, all right, Red. But CW started with a good budget, and then they did 3 or 4 other shows that weren't just Arrow and Flash.
Right.
So they had to
They
spread
don't get
it
a lot
out,
of money.
And they didn't
from
get
what
it
I've
out.
read anyway. CW
And Legends
doesn't
of
get-
Tomorrow was a heavy set CGI show because they had like Monster of the Week. They're traveling through time and all that. So it's like they had to cut back on animation and CGI
you showed
budget
me some clips
for,
of things.
and then Supergirl, which wasn't even on.
It was CBS.
It was CBS.
That's
and then,
big budget.
But they did a CW. Barry Allen from CW shows up in the Supergirl show.
Then they move
and
Supergirl
then they
over
bring
to
her over because Supergirl's in another Earth. And here's what I'm trying to get to is they had that complicated of a setup, yet they still fucking managed to get 9 seasons out of The Flash, 9 seasons out of the Arrow. Supergirl had like 5. Legends of Tomorrow had like 5 or 6. Like, and it ended with
Doom
Crisis
Patrol. You have all these
on
other shows
Infinite
too.
fucking Earths where characters from DC Universe, Titans show up. Fucking Smallville characters show up. Kevin Conroy played live action fucking Batman in Crisis on Infinite Earths for the CW.
Yeah.
That's 2 that they've done successfully.
He's about to start crying.
The third is I'm getting goosebumps because they're all amazing. They're all fucking amazing, and they can't do it in
the
live
movies.
action.
It's like
yeah, animated. You have it starts and it's like Justice League War or whatever, and it builds off like the fucking cartoon. It's like a full reboot, and they do like 4 or 5 movies about Justice League movies. I think there's 4. It ends with like Dark Apocalypse War where they like go fight Darkseid, and it ends with like Flash having to run back in time and reboot everything because like the world's fucked and they all died basically, but they won. But they're like Wonder Woman was turned into like a Fury, which is like Darkseid's like half robot weird fucking like, it's like everybody gets like mangled and fucked up, so Flash has like no choice to like run back in time even though they like won and saved the day. It's amazing. And it's like the span of like 10 fucking movies, and some of them are like Batman and Constantine get a fucking movie where they just go off and fucking have an adventure, you know, where they fight Entrigan or whatever, you know. And 3 times you did 2 TV show universes successfully and an animated universe successfully.
Yeah, and they're blowing up like the Doom Patrol and all the other stuff that's been good, and they're canceling everything.
They're canceling it. And how can you fuck it up when you have a budget? When you're the guy in charge, how do you fuck it up?
Because he's partial.
Because he's partial. Because he's fucking biased. CW didn't go like, well, Green Arrow's the most popular character, right? So let's do him. Said nobody ever. You know what I mean? So they took somebody. That's why CW is as close to MCU. Because they took a B-list, not a C-list, not a D-list. They took an Iron Man. They took a Green Arrow. Rich guy, no powers, goes through traumatic situation, is a hero now.
Right.
He's literally
that's
Iron
the
Man.
foundation.
That's the
core of any story.
That's the foundation. You start street
John
ground
Everyman.
level. Yep. You start ground level.
Who gets the ability to try to save his fellow everyman.
Usually a rich asshole.
Right. And they got to learn a lesson.
Yep. They get checked. Yep. They get Scrooged. And then they learn to use that Scrooged experience
it all comes back
to save
like
the day.
The same couple tropes. It's
what
not
the
hard.
fuck are you going to do with any of that when Shazam's knocking a dragon through the Twin Towers? You know what I mean?
Right, but that would make sense if you were heading into this Gods and Monsters arc where these things are coming into Earth and they're trying to destroy everything.
But it's not.
But they're not. They're moving away from that. So I'm
Phase
really confused.
Phase 1 of MCU wasn't aliens.
No.
Thank you. That's all the time we have today. I said it in Cinemasm. Let me know how much
Phase 1
you think.
ended with aliens.
Phase 1 ended with
They
aliens.
built up
and then
to
Phase
it.
2 wasn't even aliens, guys. No.
They
didn't even like go full
They
cosmic in
continued
Phase
to
2.
build the technology side of all the arc.
Earth.
Yeah.
The street level,
The Earth's
quote
mightiest
unquote.
heroes.
Yeah, ground level. Yeah, and then they went Guardians.
Everyone
which was the first
identified
cosmic
with
thing.
them.
Yes.
And then when they went Guardians, it was grounded. One of them was led by what?
And the
a human who was grounded.
And the Guardians didn't interact with the Avengers until Infinity War. Until fucking 18 movies later.
Why are the Guardians popular? Because Chris Pratt plays Joe Everyman.
He's
just
Guy
like
Everyman.
them. He's kind of a dick
can
that had
relate.
to go through a traumatic
You
experience
can fucking relate.
to become a hero. It's the same stupid trope, but it's all you got to do to get a decent foundation of a story.
Yep. Blue Beetle is a teenager who gets a rad fucking mystical scarab and has powers, and he's fucking
There's your
like,
guy.
right on, dude.
That's why you need to have this take place
But
as
it's like
the
a
first
machine,
thing.
though.
It's so weird. I don't even know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in 5 years it'll be gigantic.
And I love Blue Beetle. And that Cobra Kai kid is amazing. So that'll probably be awesome. But I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Thanks, James.
God, go back to making anything else. Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, I feel like he's the one that turned everybody on in my opinion, on the set like all pretentious. Like Batista and all these people became like, I don't want to do these anymore. I'm like, what the hell?
What the fuck you talking about? So thanks, Disney, for initially firing James
your
Gunn.
fault.
I hate you now.
My bad.
Yeah. God.
Oh, boy.
Ugh.